Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today we're going to be jumping back down into the charts to do some brief technical analysis on Bitcoin. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you have not yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free to join, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out today? Right, let's get into this. So yesterday we were talking about Bitcoin moving up into a fifth wave. We kind of see that getting complete here. So this is just the hourly chart, and yesterday's target was basically 41,400 to 41,600. You can see that we actually overwicked this a little bit. We actually wicked up to, according to Binance, $41,760 to the penny. Okay, so essentially we went all the way up there and then we fell back down. Now this pattern that's kind of emerging right now is a relatively interesting one, so I want to kind of go through that with what I think is likely to go on next, at least today. So let's go ahead and just blow this up a little bit, just make this a little bit bigger, and then what we're going to do is probably just come down into a 15-minute. Yeah, 15 seems to be the one that would make the most amount of sense here, so we can actually track what's potentially going on here. Now one of the things that's quite noticeable is effectively we have some kind of wedge pattern emerging, okay, on the hourly. We can see it a little bit clearer here on the 15-minute. Essentially you end up with this kind of pattern. Now what's interesting about this is we break back down. This looks like an ABC. This also looks like some kind of ABC up here. We have some kind of ABC here. We have an ABC here. And I think this is basically getting itself ready for a bit of a coiling out. So we've got one, we've got two, which should have to be, just see where these are. That's on 41,547.65, and this one is 41. So yeah, so that would be there, here, here, and here. Okay, so I think we're just tailing out of this, getting ready for another launch to the upside. Okay, so I think we're just kind of finishing off this wedge pattern, and then I think we're going to end up with 5 more waves going up. Okay, so one of the things that we were talking about a little bit yesterday, if I bring this back up into our hourly, okay, is that we have these 5 waves coming up here. Okay, and when you have 5 waves like this, normally you kind of see some kind of ABC structure. Now this is a triangle. Essentially what this means is this is a corrective pattern, which is something I've always thought that we were in, is a correction to a trend that is actually going down. I say a trend that's going down, but another pattern that is going down. Okay, and I want to call it a trend-based pattern, but it's a pattern going down, and this is actually a B wave bounce on the daily chart, right? So we've got 5 waves here, and then if this is a triangle, this makes it a B wave. And so essentially what this really makes it is a 5-3-5 corrective structure, A coming up, B coming down, and then C going up again. Okay, now on that, if that is the case, what we should be thinking is a 1-to-1 ratio to be had between our A wave and our C wave, and that would actually put us at about $44,500 BTC. Okay, so I'll put that B wave just up there. Okay, so what I'm looking for here essentially is this another 5 wave pattern just coming up, taking us up into that slightly higher range, and also see come in somewhere around here. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for. I think that's what's likely to happen over the next few days. It'll be interesting to see how today goes. Do we actually complete most of this before we start to see a big turn in the market, and all of that kind of good stuff? So if I bring the stochastic RSI back into play, you can see how we have basically gone from overbought to oversold. Without actually doing any price damage, which is showing you that what is actually going on in the background. If I throw the volume on here, you can see it quite clearly, right? What we've got is the price of Bitcoin goes up as the volume increases, and you can see it over here as well, right? Volume increases as the price goes up. When you have a correction, the volume drops down. And then when we're inside this correction right now, the volume's also dropped right down. So the expectation will be that volume will increase as we get out and exit out of this wedge. And basically what we'll end up with is hopefully another 5 wave structure to finish off the pattern of a 5-3-5. Okay, that would then actually put us at about $44,500, maybe a little bit more than that. We'll just see how that kind of goes. And that would actually mean that we'll then be talking about bigger, deeper corrections that will be due afterwards. Okay, so we came down to our low target. it 38,536. I was hoping it would come down to 37.5, but actually we only just touched this line and then it got out, which is fine. That's also a perfectly good pattern. We'll complete this and then we'll move on down. So if I come up into our daily chart, okay, here we can see the bigger pattern and the bigger things that are in play. Let me actually just go ahead and delete some of this noise at the top. We don't need that. So what we've got here basically is a large A wave coming down. That consists of 5 waves. We're looking for the ABC structure to complete our B wave. We're currently in the B wave of the ABC move up. Okay, so we've got C wave up still to come, and then we go down in what I believe will be 5 more waves. Okay, and what I'm looking for is to keep this above $34,000 by the end of that 5th wave. Okay, so it's going to be choppy, it's going to be quite difficult to see exactly what goes on here, but it's a large ABC, and basically it's a 5-3-5. So basically inside the ABC it's a 5-3-5. So if we were to break this down, you've got a 5-3-5, which consists of 5 waves up the top. We'll have 3 waves coming up. The sub-wave count will be a 5-3-5, and then we pull back down in 5 waves into that C wave. Okay, so it looks like an ABC on the bigger picture, and essentially it's actually a 5-3-5, and inside that 3 waves there's also a 5-3-5. It's just quite neat and a pretty good example over what an ABC could look like. So essentially what we're looking for is to try to bring Bitcoin down. So we'll move up to about $44,500. Once we're about there, I would expect us to drop down to about $34,000. Ideally, I'd like it to be higher than that. But again, you know, I don't want it to be lower. It's possible that it does actually come down lower. But there's a couple of key points. I want to kind of keep that as a higher low being set. So as long as we can be higher than the $34,300 will actually be in a pretty reasonable good spot there, reasonably good spot. So for Bitcoin, that's kind of what's going on. Now let's take a look at some Glassnode. So again, we're still seeing heavy amounts of accumulation occurring. Another 47,000 Bitcoin more left the exchanges than went on. I've been talking about this for months. You probably bored to death of me saying it, but this is absolutely massive, right? We're approaching nearly 3 million BTC more leaving the exchanges this year than has gone on. The shock to the supply is real and it is absolutely insane. We're at multi-year lows. We haven't been this low since 2018. Let me just shoot on back here. So where we are right now, we haven't been as low as this since, we can now actually drop this down lower. Yeah, it's about, so it's still November. We haven't been as low as this since November, but almost September time as well. And as we continue to lose BTC off the exchanges, you know, we'll be entering 2017 level shrinkage of data soon, or shrinkage of BTC. So huge shock to the supply. As I said it before, right? The 2 key things when it comes to price discovery of why I think Bitcoin's going to be going to these crazy high numbers is literally supply and demand, right? Supply and demand is absolutely everything. It doesn't really matter about the amount of money going in. It's all about getting people to basically want this asset and get that demand really high. And whilst that demand is really high, make sure that there's a squeeze on the supply. Supply and demand's absolutely everything. We see this all the time, whether that is with oil and fuel pricing, all the way through to you know, pandemic crisis in the supermarkets, right? What happens when there's a squeeze on the supply? Prices will go up. Okay, so we're really open to the idea here that Bitcoin's going to see some serious price discovery as soon as we start to see some FOMO. And I don't think that's going to happen until the whales have finished accumulating, which we can see them also doing via their addresses, which hold more than 1,000 Bitcoin. Here you can see a significant spike recently with the amount of whales actually accumulating BTC, holding over 1,000 Bitcoin per wallet. It's increasing at a rapid rate, a rate that we haven't seen this rapid since, I think, if we actually take a look at that first jump, was pretty much September of 2019. There's a few more beforehand. Another big spike did happen at the end of 2020, for example, right? So we're seeing significant spikes in the number of whales jumping in. They're heavily accumulating. This is pretty obvious when we also take a look at the exchange data, when we start seeing so much more Bitcoin leaving the exchanges than is going on. We can see this accumulation has continued since 2021. We are not in a bear market. Bear market, by the way, would be looking a lot more green. Let me just bring this to 2018. So in a bear market, you see a lot more Bitcoin going onto the exchanges. And pretty much since 2019, all we've really seen is Bitcoin leaving the exchanges. There have been a couple of pockets of high selling pressure, but nothing in comparison to what it was like in a bear market. In a bear market, people want to get rid of their assets, and yet in a bull run, they want to hold on to and they want to accumulate more. And that's exactly what we're seeing. As I said, we're approaching that 3 million Bitcoin now, more leaving the exchanges this year in 2022 than previous years. So the shortage is real. The FOMO will kick in, but I think that will happen once Bitcoin reaches about $50,000. So do expect some volatility. We're going to push up to about 44.5 to 45,000 in my opinion. We're going to pull back down towards the $34,000 range, and then I think from there we are going to launch right back up again. Okay, so guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.